All right. We are back. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Rhino, is it
Rino,
Rhino?
yes.
Reno?
Yep.
All
Can you
right,
hear
come
me?
back on. Yeah,
Yep.
turn
Sorry.
rotate your phone.
Rotate
You
it?
see the message? Rotate your phone so you look
Okay.
to landscape.
There you go. Better?
There you go. There you go.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
What's going on in the cannabis Connecticut world?
Oh, things are growing.
Are we doing right by our cannabis dispensaries, or what's happening?
All right. Yes, we are. Thank you for having me this morning. I'm
Thanks
loving
for
the
getting
music.
up early.
Yeah, and it's early. I was talking. Yeah, it's early. Things are going well. The program is we're seeing better prices coming down. A lot more people are participating in the program. We still have a low participation rate in the state. I saw an article the other day that said 20%. Someone in Connecticut who consumes cannabis routinely, regularly, only buys around 20% of what they consume at a time, or 20% of their supply comes from the legal market in the state, which is, it's a goal, target. Hopefully they'll try more products and want to sort of consume more from the program than instead of going out of state or going to other sources.
And so people do other sources go out of states because it's a pricing issue, or is it a convenience issue? What's the problem?
Well, first it used to be taxes. Connecticut just recently we're in the process of changing how the product is taxed because it's a high tax commodity. I want to say north of 20% of tax added. If you buy an eighth for $40, you'll pay an additional 23% in tax. In Connecticut, that's
Whoa!
it. Yeah,
So you better keep your weed man on speed dial.
exactly, and that's what we've been trying to sort of explain to the powers that be, the folks who are in charge. We need to really adjust our rate because in Massachusetts it's also charged pretty high, but they charge it in Connecticut. We charge tax based on milligrams of THC, so the tax never goes down. So if you have a fourth of an eighth of flower that's on sale for $40, and you put it on sale for $20, if you tax based on milligrams, it's always going to be the same tax amount. Versus if you tax on price, $40 versus $20, when items on sale, it's going to be cheaper, of course, because it'll be a lower tax price. So that matters because folks can pay an extra $10-$20 just on a single item, and it adds up.
Talk to me about these smoke shops. Do they interfere with the dispensaries? Is that a problem for y'all?
Tremendously. Not only that, they're not verified sources. I don't pretend to know where they source their products from, but you're really taking your chances because there are Department of Homeland Security just last year, and even during Biden's presidency, Homeland Security, they had reports. There are foreign nationals who are here, part of gangs growing large quantities of cannabis using whatever pesticides, fungicides, you name it, uh, whatever it takes to get the product to market. And a lot of that stuff is dangerous. And I think that's the reason we're seeing a lot of folks in emergency rooms, in hospitals where they're having chronic hyperemesis syndrome, where that chronic vomiting and nausea. It's a terrible, terrible thing because right now doctors they really can blame, they don't really know what's going on. Somebody presents in the ER, these violent medical conditions. What's been going on? Oh, I've been smoking some pot. He's been smoking a lot of pot. Oh, I've been smoking some pot. Okay, yeah, we just want to stop smoking pot. It's what's causing it. Too much THC. When in fact you're being poisoned because you're getting your source from outside the program. Now, I'm not Not saying buyer beware and not trying to scare anybody, but you really don't know what you're sourcing because there's no supply chain transparency. Versus here, when you buy your products through the program, you know the place it was manufactured, you know it's regulated by the Department of Consumer Protection, and they're the same people who regulate hospitals, doctors, pharmacies. They're the guys who keep us safe. So it's the same group.
So how do y'all combat that is there a collective of y'all that get together and try, because y'all can't advertise what you do. Am I correct in that? Like you can't put up billboards and have like a collective of this dispensary is over here and this, you can't do that. So what do y'all get to do?
There's not a lot. There's not a lot. There are, I want to say, I don't. The number fluctuates. 75 to 78 dispensaries in the state, and I talk to people, frequent enough that they don't even know we have a program in the state. I didn't know we had a program in state. Yeah, we do. It's a kind of best kept secret. We don't have a lot of options. I think Massachusetts ruined that for us. They come into our state and they put signs all up and down the highways, and I think it got some people upset. And it was even before we even had a program. You would see signs, come to Massachusetts, buy cannabis, and it rubbed some people the wrong way. Same thing with mailers, like flyers that go home. The rule is that you don't want, I want to say 90%, 90% of your viewership has to be 21 or older. Don't hold me to that number. It's either 80 or 90. And there's not too many venues that you can assure that sort of limited viewership. So we can't really advertise.
I, I, they don't have, do they have those same kind of restrictions on alcohol and cigarettes?
No, ma'am. I'm glad you brought that up. You can bring none. It's cannabis is treated like its own special
It's like
substance. It's like,
heroin,
yeah, yeah. That's a great way to say it.
like
Yep.
crack. Like,
But there are some forms of cannabis that they do treat okay. You can go to a package store, which if you go in there and with whatever restrictions there are, so you can't walk into a Connecticut dispensary without a valid ID. If
oh,
your friend is
like what
with
do you
you,
mean an ID? Like a driver's license?
correct. If you and I both showed up to a dispensary today and you didn't have your driver's license, you couldn't get in.
Okay. But if
And
I go
then
to a smoke shop,
uh package store. If I come into a package store, like pretend to go grab my ID, like, all right, gotcha, you're fine, sir. You know, not in the dispensary. They have to take down the number. They have to track it. So you have limited. You have one person going in, or two people if you have both have IDs and you're both buying. Versus the other stores in New York, Massachusetts, it's more of a it's more like a retail experience. You walk in, that you provide your driver's licenses, but multiple people can be in there. If you're not buying, it's a whole different vibe. You browse their displays. In Connecticut, we have what's called the Blockbuster model. Remember, you used to pick up the Blockbuster video would be empty, but you'd have to bring the box to the register. Kind of that idea here.
oh really? See, I've never been in a dispensary, so I don't know how it works.
You should check one out. It's an experience.
Wow. I didn't know all that was involved. I just thought you could go in there like any other retail outlet and look at the goodies and da 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 da.
No. And it used to be in the medical program, you weren't allowed to use certain names, certain words. So you'd be looking at the menu and it'd be sort of made up words that describe the products and
What do you mean?
abbreviations. Yeah, it looked like as if you were like in an Eastern European train station. There's numbers and letters on the boards, and if you don't speak the language, you probably give me a little bit of trouble.
So what do you want people to know about Connecticut and cannabis and what y'all are trying to do? What do you want people to know?
I want them to know that your health, you only get one life. Your health is important, and you take chances when you put things in your body that you don't know where they originate from. And there's a lot of naysayers and haters on Reddit, and there's just some of the worst people ever. But it's easy to hide behind a keyboard and say the worst things. But the reality is, if you're going to buy something from the program, because it's the same state regulators, like I told you, regulate our pharmacies, our doctors, our nurses, the people that we trust in life to keep us alive and get us to these, 70, 80, 90 years old. Um, and the folks who are selling you cannabis on the black market, they're not in it for some great cause. They're in it just to make money, just like everybody else, except there are no regulations, there's no rules. I can't sell product unless it gets tested by a licensed laboratory in the state of Connecticut, and that laboratory is run by very, very, very intelligent chemists, professional people, microbiologists, and they verify that that product is safe. Consumer Protection then tracks that product and makes sure that if someone does get sick, they know that Reno made it at his facility on this day with these products, and you have that traceability and you have that insurance. You don't get that when you buy product anywhere else.
Hmm. So how are y'all with the legislature? How do y'all deal with them? Are they for this? Like, do they support this, or are they kind of lukewarm? Like, I mean, they have to be with it a little bit because it got passed and you exist. But where are they with loosening some of these grips that kind of put strangleholds on y'all in terms of how you market, who your audience is, who your consumers are, that kind of thing?
The legislators have been really good, and I give them a lot of credit because it's not easy. Nobody wants to be the person who allowed something that potentially didn't go great, right? Especially on cannabis, and we grew up in the war on drugs, and just say no. And there were a lot of good messages, okay, but there were some messages that were a bit askew, a little bit off. So these legislators, I think, have a big burden on their shoulders. They need to balance between supporting businesses, uh, generating tax revenue, and protecting the public. And when you sort of balance all of those, they they're doing their best. I think this year there stands to be some meaningful movement. Um, I think the biggest change was the adult use sales starting in January 2023. The program became much more restricted. Like when we went from medical to adult use, the packaging became restricted. The packaging today looks like something you would buy in Walgreens. It just has the white label on it. It just has typeface. Well, I think there's a little red warning on it, little green cross maybe, but very limited marketing. They're talking about maybe allowing a couple more colors on packaging after this year.
You know, we use marketing to sell all kinds of things, and marketing to children. I mean, we know, animals don't talk, but they put talking animals on cereal boxes. I mean, that's the same absurdity to me, because we know. I mean, Camel cigarettes used to have a camel smoking, but that was targeted at children because adults know camels don't smoke, right? But
Yep, yep. I know,
the
right?
hypocrisy is not lost on me of this. I don't want children to get
Yeah.
influenced by this.
Oh, of course not. Nobody wants that, and I understand. We got to really weigh the realities. The cannabis, as far as they say, it's easier. The amount of cannabis you need to hurt you or to kill you would be someone my size would need to consume like 3 liters of oil, concentrated oil. Which how would you even get it in my body? So it's just a theoretical. The joke is, it's easier if they drop it on you. You know.
So how are the cannabis dispensaries doing? Like, how are y'all doing? Are you making money? I mean, are you seeing a return on your investment?
So they're very, very, very cost intensive. Businesses to run. My facility in Portland, we bought that building for I think $5 million, and then we put another $1 million of renovation in it, so we're about $6 million into it, and that's before we even started operational expenses. Then you have to hire staff and run a business. Our electric bill is $50,000 a month.
Oh, are you pushing that much cannabis to keep the doors open?
Electricity. So think about your electricity bill, how it's gone up in the past few years. Now imagine, so one light in our grow is 1,000 watts, and we have 50 lights in each of 6 rooms. So we have 300 lights and 1,000 watts each. So we generate just a ton of power. But it's funny because when I leave at night, I always make sure I turn off the light in the hallway because
Yes.
every little bit helps.
So what you do at Affinity Grow, Connecticut, is that right?
Correct.
Do you
Yep.
supply to the other dispensaries, or are you your own one man shop? You
No,
grow it, you
we have.
sell it, you package it.
So we do. We grow it all the way through extraction. We harvest it. We do extraction. We sell flower, pre-rolls, vapes. We sell the full complement of products in adult use and medical. We have 2 stores. One of them is in New Haven, one is in Bridgeport. Our New Haven store is over by the tunnel, shameless plug. And the Bridgeport store is down right in the Fairfield line. Then we also have 78, like I told you, 75 to 78 retail customers throughout the state that we supply every week. We do deliveries.
Oh, okay. That's good,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's not like people are bringing product from out. Well, they probably are too, but not all of it is coming from outside into their own dispensaries, right?
No, none of it. So in New York State, for example, Governor Hochul, it was kind of a blessing and a curse. She wanted a great program, and so Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New York all basically went adult use at the same time. Within the first year, Connecticut and New York, we were kind of neck and neck. We weren't doing really great. Connecticut, I think, did a couple $100 million in revenue. So did New York. But then the following year, New York broke $1 billion in
Wow.
sales. We're still
Whoa.
around 290 million. So but they prioritize different things. Connecticut would have never launched without the traceability of a seed to sale tracking system. So everything I make is tracked in a system. The Department of Consumer Protection knows every product is in my facility right now, and they know every minute of every day. In New York, they just recently rolled out that tracking system 3 years in. So what they did was they just wanted the program to get. They had a big black market problem. They had shops everywhere. If you remember New York City, every third shop was a dispensary. So it was problematic. They had to start locking doors and stuff. So she said, I'd rather have the legal operators importing products, and at least they're licensed individuals, and I can at least hold them accountable. So they were bringing things in from California and from the West Coast. Now they're kind of trying to get away from that and just go with their own in-house supply and state supply. But Connecticut has always maintained in-state supply. Never a single thing that I'm aware of that came in from out of state.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. So before I let you go, before we wrap up, talk to me about like, is there a big cannabis convention? Like, do you go and see innovative ways to grow and seed building and all? What is that like?
Cannabis Business Times and MJ BizCon. MJ BizCon is a big conference at the end of the year. It's in December. It's in Las Vegas. That's fun. You get to see a lot of the new equipment, all the new LED lights. Um, I'll tell you the last thing that we saw there, the last great breakthrough. There was a company that was able to roll like a joint, like a flat joint, on a continuous piece of paper versus the cone. Like typically you buy cones in the medical or in the legal industry. The other big invention was they did it. They call them infused pre-rolls. They can take a concentrate and they can basically infuse that pre-roll. Like imagine an injector comes in, and so you can make this sort of mashed up. But short of that, there hasn't been a lot of new innovation at the shows. And you see the shows, they were at their peak in probably 2015, 2016, 2017. Those were the heyday of new cannabis, but it's been tapering down because there's not a lot of new states coming online. So you don't have that. You need lots of new people coming in and being excited and buying things. And it's still great. Don't get me wrong, but it was a little greater 10 years ago.
Wow, I find that so fascinating. So, what do you want to see in Connecticut with cannabis growth? What would be ideal?
It's just I would like to see less. I understand you're always going to have some black market presence, and there are folks who there's a very vocal group of folks who feel that they should have the right to grow it at home and sell it in the as a commodity and as a product in the market. But I can't tell you too many. Maybe if you did a vegetable stand, you can grow some vegetables and put a stand out front of your house. Leave a couple bucks, grab a couple tomatoes. But if you're going to have a product that is sold in commerce in the state of Connecticut and medical patients are going to buy it, adult use, you need to be licensed. You need to be vetted. You need to follow the rules just like the rest of us. The rest of us get testing done, and there's complete transparency. So ironically, once in a while, you're going to get a result from the lab that's out of specification. It doesn't mean the facility's dirty. It doesn't mean that you're loaded with mold. Sometimes lab results come back askew. So you retest and you move forward. But the guys on the black market, nothing gets tested, zero. So we're just going to assume that they're doing it right. and that they never have contaminations or infestations, not a chance, I'll tell you. So just keep that in mind, and I hope to continue working with the legislature to sort of make sensible policy that can see the industry grow safely, and that people have access, people who are the right age and meet the right requirements can have access to the product safely and continuously.
Right. Well, thank you for the update on Cannabis Connecticut. I didn't know
Thank
how
you.
things were going. I just know I've been paying attention to all the crackdowns on the smoke shops that are like carrying so much. And I was
And then they
like,
open the next day, though. Did you see, right, Babs? I mean, the next day they're open again, right?
yeah, like I don't know what is the deterrent? Like what is it? Like, and when you see smoke shop, I thought that they were allowed to sell cannabis because smoke shop speaks to everything that you smoke.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you had to go to the dispensary to really buy this stuff.
I wish that the department would see it as a different way. So we put signs up that we're a legitimate operator. It should be more that the smoke shops who sell e-vapes and e-cigarettes and such should be required to post a sign that this shop is not allowed to sell THC products. I mean, it's real simple. Big sign.
Yeah,
If you don't have your sign out, then there's a fine. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. That
Reasonable.
sounds like a legislative conversation. Like, hey,
I'll
help
give
us
it a
do
shot.
this. So, well, thank you. So, come back on again and keep me updated on what's going on in the
This is a
cannabis
lot of
world.
fun. Thank you so much. I will. I will wake up again this early and to be here this early. I really enjoyed this. It's very nice meeting you.
Thank you. I enjoyed this too. I learned so much. So I appreciate it. So yeah, come back on and let me know how everything is going.
Will do. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
You too. Enjoy it.
Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, Harry. Have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday.
Love.